IVM.
TFG Football is an IVM production, and you can also check out their other awesome shows like Geek Fruit with fellow and television geeks Tejas, Jishnu and Dinkar as they discuss the world of science fiction and nerd culture.
You're listening to TFG Football.
Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of the TFG Indian Football Podcast. Today is a special day. Chiranjit, why is it special?
Yeah. Because we're going to preview the Kolkata Derby today.
No.
No?
Kolkata Derby is
Why then?
special, okay, but for you, not for everybody. For everyone at TFG, it's a special occasion because the fangarage.com is officially 2 years old today.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's why I forgot.
So it's our
You know why
birthday.
I forgot?
What?
Yeah, you know why I forgot. Because,
Please don't put some
actually
Kolkata connection there.
No Kolkata connection. We actually, I don't know if I told the story before. I was recruited for TFG from the stadium. You know, me and Nikhil watched one match together. I think it was Mumbai FC versus Pune FC at the Cooper Stadium back in 2015 during I-League. And afterwards he said, okay, we're starting this, so come join. And we were already, doing some rough work back in June 2015. So the website launched later. So that's why I did the whole thing. I forgot the whole thing. Now, we've been at it for more than 2 years, but the company is now officially 2 years.
Oh, yes. So it's a birthday. It's a second birthday today. Happy birthday to us. I think Siju would have done a much better job than what I have done. And I will be very relieved from next Monday onwards.
She would have told me before starting the show that we're going to talk about the birthday so that I don't make a fool of myself and not completely forget that, okay, today we're supposed to be 2 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So it feels nice. 2 years. It's been great. And talking to you all every day, a daily podcast, just helps us to know Indian football better. And with our knowledge, we can share as much as we've learned with you all. So, great experience. And so moving on, the big news for today that came out yesterday was the under-17 India squad was announced.
Yeah.
That's great news. I think it's time that every team will start declaring or announcing their final squad for the World Cup. Yeah,
I mean, finally, we were waiting for this for such a long time, man. It's here. We're doing this. And it's just like a couple of days back, man. I think I was still in Aizawl back then, and I was sort of talking about Indian football with our good friend John Zoran Sara. He's been on the podcast before, so we were just chatting, and it just sort of started dawning on me, man. Like ever since that when I was like 5-6 years old and saw my first World Cup, and I remember asking my father, why are we not there? And since then, every time a World Cup or a world event has been around, and I've always wondered when are we gonna do it? When is it gonna finally happen? And finally realized, shit, it's in a couple of weeks we will play in the World Cup. Like, doesn't matter if it's under 17, doesn't matter how we got there, but we're gonna play in the World Cup. India is playing in the World Cup. Like the ground is shifting, man. It's like, kya ho raha hai? Poster phata and the Blue Tigers came out. The Blue Tigers are out of their cage. So yes, we are on the hunt now. Doesn't matter, man. This is historic. Let's go and let's get it. 10 years later, nobody would have believed this. I think earlier that we would be playing in under-17 World Cup. Nobody would have thought of this, but it has happened. All the credit to AIFF for doing this for us. All the credit for IMG Reliance for spearheading this effort, for making this dream of decades a possibility. And I could not be more happier about it.
Yeah, great occasion. And finally, we do know which are the 21 players that will be participating for India at the World Cup. This is the biggest stage that any team can dream of, and it's right here. Hardly any days to go. We will be previewing each and every team of the World Cup starting Monday, and also that means we will be taking an inside look at the India squad, about the strengths and weaknesses. But before that, just to quickly look at the squad that has been announced. Chirindra, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, well, we have seen these guys in action for a while, right? I mean, Sunny Dhaliwal, Dheeraj Singh, I think it's pronounced Prabhsukhan Gill, and these are the guys who are in the goal, and we have Boris Singh, Jitendra Singh, Anwar Ali. I'm particularly fond of Sanjeev Stalin. Oh, what!
I'm looking forward to watch Stalin. His free kicks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Freaking dictatorial power, man. Right over there. I mean, I may have been a bit politically controversial there, but regardless, he's all the best. Henry Anthony. We have Namit Deshpande also in the defense.
So Namit Deshpande is one of the players that was scouted by India from the scouting network that was created with the online portal going live very recently, and this was actually to get in players or Indian passport holders staying abroad, trying to giving them a shot at playing for India, and the trials were held at different countries, and Namit Deshpande was one of the players who was shortlisted, and it's great that he makes it to the final 21.
Yeah, and look, this thing was done it was not possible to do this on a scale like they did the scouting drive in India. They went to every state and they looked at the selection of players over there and chose the best out of them. That was a vast operation, right? And the overseas player hunt was, it could only be done online. There was not much time to execute it. So you can really have an idea that they may have missed out some talent. So somebody who's holding Indian passport is living abroad may have even we could have got more if the planning was made a bit earlier. It's not AIF's fault that this happened. It was a bit of hardly anybody saw it coming when they did it.
Yeah.
Right, and there wasn't enough buzz around it either. We already have this discussion going on whether we should allow PIOs to come into the Indian national team squad, and we know that lots of Indian origin people who grow up in Europe or UAE or Middle East or some other country which has better football infrastructure, they can be an asset to the national team because they have had longer training and they're technically more developed than the homegrown players or the domestically grown players that we have. So that's a debate to be had. But meanwhile, reaching out to those Indians who are living abroad who hold an Indian passport, so they're not barred by law from participating for the national team, is giving them a chance is a great initiative. I don't think any other Indian sport has done this before. So it's brilliant that AIFF have thought of this.
And it's also a great example for the sports.
Yeah, and so now you have that idea that if let's say a kid moves to some other country with his parents and wants to play football, then they know, okay, AIFF wants to keep in touch with people like me, and there will be opportunities coming my way. So now even the parents and the kids will think twice before trying to get the kid a different passport, changing citizenship. They may just leave the Indian passport in place just so that the kid, when he turns 17, 18, can start representing India in the junior teams and try for a national team berth later on. So all of that has big ramifications.
Yeah. Coming to the midfield, we've got some good picks over here. Suresh Singh is there. Amarjit Singh is there. There's Abhijit Sarkar, Komal Thatal. How can you forget Komal Thatal? Just for that for that one goal against Brazil. Oh my God! He scored against Brazil. I think if he just creates a CV and he just puts this one line, scored against Brazil. That's it. There's nothing else to say.
Yeah, done, man. Who would have thought India scoring against Brazil, man? Seriously, man, I never really thought that India would be even playing Brazil this early. And it doesn't matter if it's in under 17 level. We played Brazil, we gave them a fight, and we scored a goal against them. That says a lot. I can't wait. Players like Komal Thatal is there in the midfield. This guy Ninto Ningdarba Meitei. I'm sorry if I pronounce it wrong, but
you can forgive us. You can forgive us for that.
I mean, but I've even seen a couple of actions from him during the couple of matches that I managed to catch of the under 17 team. He's pretty good as well. There's Jigson Singh, there's Naurem, there's Rahul Kenoli. Man, this is spread all over India, man.
Yeah.
There's Mohammad Shahjahan. We got Stalin and Shahjahan in the same team.
Wow. This becomes a historic team already.
Yeah, seriously, man. This is obviously, look, I'm not going to pretend. I have not seen them play extensively, right? So it would be wrong for me to say, okay, this guy is very good, this guy is not so good, or whatever. Just trying to make such comments. So I will refrain from that. Just the few players of the few matches that I've seen, these are some of the names that stick out, and we can really look forward to seeing them again. But look at this one name that interests me more than anybody else. Rahim Ali, one of the forwards in the team. He was not part of the core group of players picked for this. Mm-hmm. Okay, the team that toured all of Europe, went to Middle East, played different international teams and club teams all over the place. That he was not a part of that group. He was part of this B side. There's this second squad that was groomed that had less exposure. There was less attention given to them. Most of it. They were the reserves, just in case somebody got injured or whatever. Mm-hmm. So Rahim Ali, part of that squad, makes it into the final squad. So imagine how good he is and how much of a impact he has had with his performance that the coach has chosen him.
Yeah.
So good thing for him. And we have Aniket Jadhav.
Yeah.
Who can forget Aniket Jadhav? so pretty good squad, man.
Yeah. So that's the 21 players that will be representing India at the World Cup starting October 6th. And we will play on the opening day, being the host and being put in Group A. So that's it about the Indian squad, and we will head on to a break. And on the other side, we have news and updates about the big Kolkata derby that's coming. All that after the break.
Hi, I'm May, and I'm a huge fan of the indie music scene in our country. A scene that's relatively underground, even though it sometimes speaks its head overground, but there's no shortage of talent, and I get the privilege of interviewing some of the most awesome musicians on my show. I've had the likes of Euphoria, Krish Kale, Hardcore, Randolph Correa. I've had singer-songwriters, folk singers, electronic music producers, playback singers, rappers, fusion artists, instrumentalists, classical musicians, and so on. Whether mainstream or not, these people have chosen to release their original music, and these are the people currently shaping the direction in which our music scene is heading. Join me on my show every Monday and tune in to discover the unique talent coming out of India today. You can catch Made in India on your favorite podcasting app or our very own IVM podcast app.
Welcome back, guys, after the break. And as we promised, this half is dedicated to the Kolkata derby. And this is, this couldn't have got even more interesting than this because everything is on the line for both teams. For East Bengal, it's all they require is a draw, because they've already they are ahead on the goal difference. So a draw also would be good enough for them. And for Mohun Bagan, it's do or die. You win, you take the title home. It couldn't have been more interesting for Khalid Jamil in his first season at East Bengal, and they're close to creating history, and he's also being part of that. What a journey he has been, Chiranjit. From Mumbai FC, who thought his extensive stay at Mumbai FC could have taken just a shot. All of a sudden he's asked to move, and then Aizawl comes in, and then Aizawl has a great season. He's part of the historic team, the victory that Aizawl got being I-League champions, and then now he's part of CFL with East Bengal.
Yeah.
What a man!
Yeah.
What a journey for him.
Dude, I mean, he set out to make history, and he did make history at Aizawl FC, and now he's like, this is the biggest opportunity that he has ever had. He can go further than he's ever been with any other club if he does things right at East Bengal. Obviously, this is sort of a, what do you call it? It has become a litmus test for East Bengal coaches to win the local league, because last 7 years they have already done it. So anybody who doesn't do it at the point is already going to be seen as some. So this is more important than ever before. They want to make the record of winning the 8th state CFL title, and it has come down to the derby as it all usually does. Usually, it's like that only. You win the derby, you win the league. So this is more spelled out than ever this time. I'm a bit, there are a couple of concerns that I have around this match, which are not directly related to football. First is Durga Puja is about to start, right? So you're gonna put a match right before Durga Puja, which is away from Kolkata, which means the Kolkata fans. There's going to be a lot of people who will be reluctant to travel at this point, because look, it's a very expensive season. Everybody is just spending money on new clothes or making arrangements for puja. There are a lot of people who will be involved in puja activities, and puja activities still most part of West Bengal. It's a collective activity. Everybody takes part in it. So in the middle of that, those few days when you're leading up to the puja, I think it falls on Chaturthi, right? So Monday is Panchami, and then Tuesday the puja begins in earnest. So you put a derby match on that time, you are literally writing out thousands of people who could have traveled. Yeah. Because they will have other commitments, they cannot travel.
But then could there have been a date that was prior to that?
They could have if they wanted to, but they did not manage to. So I think there was an issue with the Siliguri's Contingent Stadium being available. All that they had to navigate, and let's just be at least thankful that they have put it on a Sunday, so that absolutely everybody can at least watch it on TV. Yeah. But the second problem is that there was a huge unprecedented flood in that area very recently, right? Which disrupted trains for weeks. Okay, and still all the trains are not running. Some of the rail lines are still being repaired, and some paths that have been clogged are yet to be fully made functional again. Forget about the road or the train. Talking about the road, if you wanted to take a bus to Siliguri from Kolkata, it used to take 12 hours. Okay, now it apparently takes 20 hours from what I'm hearing, because fewer lanes are active, so there's a huge congestion, and it's very hard to get a bus ticket now. Okay, so you're just putting the people in a very impossible situation.
Transport has become a big hindrance over here. Expected to draw crowds, but then this comes in the way to.
It will still draw crowds. Yeah. But I'm just pointing out how much of a difficulty it's going to be. It's going to be a 20-hour drive. So anybody who is listening to this, please start early Saturday. Okay, don't take any chances, because You just don't know when what will happen. And when you have fuel lanes active, if some bus breaks down or gets a flat tire and cannot move out, then you're gonna be stuck for hours again. So start early Saturday if you can. Don't take chances.
Yeah.
So that's there. Those who can fly will fly, but it's going to be very expensive during that time. Kolkata. I was in Kolkata yesterday. Crazy traffic, man. Part of it was because there was a match happening at Eden Gardens, but just generally, man, more people are outside. The airport was crazy crowded as well because so many people are traveling. So there's just the Kolkata football lovers who always turn up for Bengal and Mohun will be tested more than any time else to make it to the match this time. So that is the.
So that's the update from travel. And coming back to football,
No. Just also another thing too. I know it is taking time, but this has to be mentioned. Don't put up your flags out this time, okay? Because I have a very bad feeling about this. The people who just book a bus and go, or book a taxi, or book a matador or something like that and travel. They like to put out and display their club flags and everything, and they like to chant and sing all the way. But maybe keep it down this time, because just look at what happened a couple of days ago, okay? Vandalism happened at Mohun. There are FIRs hanging on top of some East Bengal fans' heads. The clubs have come together. The officials have said, no, we are united against it. This has no place in football. But somebody is out there who's incited by this and may try to do something. Right? So don't attract attention on the way. Things are bad enough as it is. Don't try to just for the sake of showing your colors, don't paint a target sign on your back. Doesn't matter if you're an East Bengal fan or a Mohun Bagan fan, because we've seen this. We have seen East Bengal and Mohun Bagan buses on their way back. It's a long journey. It's a whole day's journey. They have been attacked on the road by other people when they were passing through localities which are very partisan. So don't do it. Try to stay safe. And don't, if somebody just tries to incite you around the stadium on the way back, don't indulge it. Just move on. It's not worth it. If a tragedy happens, everybody will come out as a loser. So yeah, that's it. Let's get into the football now.
Right. So that was the travel update, and the message in short is travel safe and do not get into things that might just incite violence.
Yeah.
All right. So 6 is the goal difference that East Bengal is sitting on comfortably, and again for Mohun Bagan there's no choice. They just have to win this by any goal margin.
Yeah, so you're gonna see both the teams going for the win here. I think, even though Khalid Jamil had that.
Don't come with that philosophy of Khalid and the defense. That's not going to happen.
Not gonna do it.
He himself does not like to be called as a defensive coach, and he's proved time again.
Exactly.
He can go after attack, and we've seen that in the last season. When he wants to attack, he can do that.
Exactly, and they just beat Taliban Ogurukami 5-0. So the message is clear. They're gonna go out and try to get a win. And the big factor that's gonna play in this derby is Aizawl FC. Because one of the coaches is from FC. There are multiple players who are from Aizawl FC. There's Kamo, there's Alamna, Kroma, Brandon, there's Lalram Chulova. There are multiple players, man, who are all coming in from Aizawl FC and playing for both teams. So we're gonna see a champions face off for another championship.
So what time is the game, Chiranjeev?
How good is that?
What game? What time is it?
Sunday 5 p.m.
Sunday 5 p.m. My God, that's...
Watch out for Al-Amna. The guy has been pulling his wing all through everything, man. All the tough games he has tried something and tried to get a result. He even tried to get the last moment to get They got a draw against Mohammedan Sporting. The guy went down a couple of times in Mohammedan Sporting box trying to get a penalty and everything. So he's all in it. He wants to win another trophy. He's got a taste of the blood at Aizawl FC, and now he wants more and more for him and his team, for Khalid Jamil as well.
And,
so
who are the players to watch out for in Mohun Bagan? Kroma is definitely one.
Yeah, Kamo is there. We're going to see some Christopher Lindo. What if he steps up? What if Azharuddin steps up as well? Because last time there was a derby in Kolkata, Azharuddin scored. Sorry, not in Kolkata, in Siliguri. Azharuddin scored, and he's scoring in Mohammedan Sporting as well. So he's proving himself to be a big occasion player. So yeah, you have to watch out for him as well.
Right. So that's all we have about the Kolkata derby. So the game is tomorrow on Sunday at 5 p.m. Do tune into at the TFG Football to follow all updates. And this is going to be it's live on Kolkata TV. If you have the channel, do watch it. Otherwise, there is a legal stream available. Before the match, we will share the link, so you can watch it there as well. There you have it. If you're just wanting to watch it's the finale. Even though it's the league, but it's the finale for the CFL, and it's going to be quite interesting. Whoever takes this will be just jumping in joy because everything is on the line. So that's it from our end. Great end to the great start to the weekend. And next week we should have Siju joining us. We'll be talking more about the FIFA World Cup and
under 17.
FIFA under 17 World Cup. So till then, guys, if you're listening,
noticed one thing, dude?
What's that?
The under 17 World Trophy looks like Cricket World Cup trophy.
Cricket World Cup trophy. What?
It looks like a little bit. Like the design language is similar. I mean, you have going up from the base and holding the globe up there. It kind of reminds me of the Cricket World Cup trophy. I don't know. All this while we are talking about Indian football, getting the precedence over cricket, and then there you go comparing the World Cup trophy back to the cricket. Yeah, but it looks similar. Why even bring out that? Why? I don't know. I'm just a bit nervous about the derby. So we get that. All right, guys, if you're listening to us on YouTube, do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Keep those comments coming in, and you can download the IVM podcast app, which is available on Android and iOS. The podcast is also available on major podcasting apps like SoundCloud, iTunes, etc. So next week is going to be loaded with all previews of the FIFA Under 17 World Cup. Take care, guys. See you.
That was Tantrik Steve from Hansraj College, Delhi, performing at IIT Bombay's Mood Indigo. Just like them, there's a lot of new talent and art coming out of colleges all across India, but unfortunately most of this goes completely unnoticed or ignored. To fix this, we started ATKT.in. Hi, I'm Ankur, I'm a musician and a rapper, and I found that one of the best things about being an artist myself is finding new talent. Through ATKT.in, Tanya, my colleague who's a dancer, and our whole team really is putting all of our efforts into discovering and promoting all the coolest talent that's coming out of colleges all across India. And this goes up on our website, our social media, TV, radio, and now, of course, this podcast with IVM. Make sure you go to our website, support the talent with your likes, your shares, your comments. All of that really matters. Go ahead, check it out. ATKT.in.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.